Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo, and I have my buddy Samantha Leonard from Stream Dental HR. Samantha, what's up?
I am so happy to be on with you. It's been a year since we've done this. Can you
Can't
believe it?
believe that. I can't believe that. So when you said that, I guess there was a video. Someone was asking a question about Stream Dental, right?
Yep.
And they typed something in, and so automatically it bumped the post up. And yeah, I looked at it. It was like a year ago since the last time we did a Nifty deal and did a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
Exactly. So it's well overdue, but I'm really excited to be on here with you and talk more about how to design your dental dream team.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, guys, opening a dental practice is tough, right? But one of the toughest things is actually having the right team around you. Yeah. I mean, forget about just seeing patients. You know, people say, okay, it's getting patients in the door. No, that's not even the hard part. The hard part is having a good team, a team that's going to stick with you, right? A team that's going to kind of go in with the culture. And let's talk about that. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the dream team. So Samantha, for those who do not know who you are, which I can't imagine by now, people not knowing who you are. I mean, you were down, you spoke at the Delivering Wow Summit. You totally rocked it.
Oh, thank you.
A bunch of people cry, but in a good way, right? Yeah. And then you were on Dentistry's Got Talent too. You rocked it there too. So you are like the person who's all about just creating that dream team, dental HR, recruitment, all the above. Let's start about that. I mean, you wear a lot of hats in your company, but let's start with that. All right, what's the biggest problem with teams, or actually with dental practices, creating that dream team? What's the biggest problem dentists have?
Well, definitely, I would definitely say a couple of things come into play. When I look back at my experience when I used to manage multiple offices across the country, the hardest thing always was being able to find the right people, right? Either you feel that there's not enough qualified candidates out there, or you just don't have the time, resources to be able to focus on creating the right systems and the right training programs so your team is effective. So what ends up happening, Glenn, we end up hiring somebody out of pure desperation because we need to fill that position.
Body, right? You just
exactly.
Hey,
can you breathe? Talk. Okay.
You can talk, you can chew gum at the same time, and you can walk. Okay, yes, you're hired.
Yeah, exactly. And so we end up just hiring anybody out of pure desperation. We just throw them into the deep end, so to speak, right? Here's your column for the day. Here's where all the instruments are. I'll check in with you at the end of the day. See you later. Good luck, right? It's a sink or swim mentality. So how can you expect to throw somebody into the deep end and have them turn into an Olympic swimmer by day 2, right? It doesn't happen. It takes time to be able to develop those skills so that you know how to attract the right people, how to ask the right questions, and how to integrate them into your practice with the right system. So that's exactly what we do and help our clients develop. So in that way, they're more proactive instead of being reactive, right? And just waiting for that person to hand you their 2 weeks notice. And then that's when you start to scramble, right? You have so many things on your plate as it is. And then having to do this on top of that, that adds an additional, 50 additional items onto that never-ending to-do list of yours. So
Samantha, let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you this, and this is something that really, really needs to be hammered home. So what would you say is the cost to a dental practice if they hire the wrong person?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me that, because I actually did a Facebook Live where I did a full-on calculation and broke down what that costs you. So you know what? It costs a practice over $28,000.
Wait, what?
$28,000. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Is that Canadian dollars or US dollars?
It's whatever currency you pay that team member.
Wow.
It's crazy. So yeah, like think about how many employees you've had to hire in the last year. Mm-hmm. Is that 2, 3? Now it's starting to go up into like 50 plus thousands of dollars. Like that's a huge pill to swallow. And that's not sustainable for any business, right? It feels like you're taking 2 steps forward and then 10 steps back every single time you have to replace an employee.
So Samantha, I had to ask you this. I mean, you've been working with in dentistry for a while. In fact, you actually used to manage a really big orthodontic practice. I mean, the who's who of orthodontists in Canada. But let me ask you this: you must think that we are insane
What?
dentists, right? You must think we're insane because you know what? We do the dentistry. We try to do the marketing. All right. I mean, we try to be the IT guy, and then we try to be the HR specialist. You must think we're crazy.
Well, that's what every small business owner does, right? When you think about it, you're the CEO, like you said, you're the maintenance guy, you're IT, you do everything because it's you building that practice, building that business from the ground up. So that's why it's so important to make sure you have the right team with you because they're leverage and extension of who you are and what your business is about. So if you don't have the right people who are in alignment with your philosophies and core values or who can help you reach your goals, then you're just going to be hitting your head against the wall. You're only going to be able to reach, hit a plateau and can't get to that next level because you don't have the right team and the right systems with you.
Okay, so let's talk about some action steps, things that we can do, right? So let's talk about someone's watching right now, and let's start with the practice who does not need to hire someone right now, right? Because really, that's the most ideal time to kind of get ready, right? You don't want to wait until half your staff leaves and you're like cleaning the ops and answering the phones and doing everything, and you just want a body in there. You don't want to be in that situation. Let's start with the listener, the viewer right now who, my team's okay. I'm all right right now. What can they do right now?
Well, that's a great question. And that's a great analogy, right? It's the same thing where if your house is on fire, that's not when you're going to call the insurance company and get fire protection on your house, right? You do that before so that you're being proactive and you can really protect yourself. So that's the time that you want to start, like you said. So let's start off with developing your policy manual. So that's essentially your practice guidelines, right? That tells your team exactly what's expected of them, why you do the things that you do, your accountability process. And that really helps put your team member on the right page right from day one. So I would definitely say, let's start with that and then start by developing your job descriptions as well. Now, my caveat for creating your job descriptions is you want to be able to actually take a step back and begin with the end in mind. So you actually want to look to 5 years from now. Where do I want my practice to be, right? And then being able to determine who the right person would be, what their roles and responsibilities would be. So in that way, you can find and hire that right person who's going to fit the bill, and then you can train them accordingly. So in that way, they are a rock star right from the beginning and can help you grow. So those are the two easiest fundamentals to begin with, but then also creating your training resources and your systems, right? You and I are we love Loom. Loom is a fabulous program, and it's free, guys. That's the niftiest, thriftiest deal that you can get. But it's like, why not start breaking down your job description and seeing what are the roles and responsibilities involved in this position? And so how can I create those resources and training systems so that this person can understand how to accomplish those roles and responsibilities effectively? Right? So why not use Loom to be able to create training videos on how to enter in new patients, how to pull reports, how to be able to process insurance claims, create those as you have that time. So in that way, when you do need to hire somebody, guess what? Everything is a one and done solution. It's ready for you so that you can train your team. And now you're not the person who's going to have to sit there and explain everything and try to do a brain dump when you're like, telling everything that's in your brain to somebody else and hoping that they absorb it properly and do things right.
I love that, Samantha. I love that. So really, I mean, for those who are watching it, everything, their house is in order, everything's good. This is the time to make sure you have the foundation set. This is the time to have all those training videos, all the policies, all those job descriptions, all those things, because you know what? Nowadays, in the dental practice, most people, they don't have team members who stay there like 20 something years and whatnot. Times have changed. And, if you need to have a new team member come on, you need to have the system in place. I love that. That's such great advice. Okay. So now let's kind of split it up or switch it up a little bit. Okay. So someone's watching right now and they just lost a team member and they're like, okay, they're not like 100% desperate, but they're kind of desperate, right? Like they can hang in there. What are some of the things that they got to be careful about so they don't make that $28,000 mistake?
Yes. So I actually say that when somebody leaves, it is a blessing in disguise, right? It's a great opportunity for you to be able to reevaluate that position, reevaluate your goals, and be able to have a great campaign so that you're attracting the right people for your office. So definitely start off with, reverse engineering your 5-year growth plan, creating your job description. So in that way, that helps you when you're screening candidates to make sure, okay, this person, yes, they have the experience level that I need, or maybe they only have 50%. So what can I do? Do I have the training resources and the team available to be able to give that person that opportunity for them to be able to grow and learn and be successful in that position, right? So in that way, you're being proactive and you're avoiding any disasters that could really prevent you or your team member or your existing team to be successful.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. We started from, okay, everything's good in our practice to, okay, we just lost a team member. Now let's just go to the other side. The house is on fire. Your only front desk / assistant who is doing everything just left. And you're like, I need to find someone. I'm about to pull someone off the street, or I might even call my mom to come in there. So for that doctor who's going through that right now, what is your advice to him or her?
Yeah, that's definitely a very stressful position to be in. So I've been there myself. I know what that's like. It keeps you up at night, right? It's terrible. So the things that you want to make sure is that, again, you need to be able to keep that end in mind. I don't want you to be able to just hire somebody just because it's the first resume that you received, but they don't even have any dental experience. So how is that really benefiting you in your practice? How is that benefiting that new employee when you're just throwing them, here's my schedule for the day. I want you to start doing all of this stuff, making sure that you're doing the insurance, and it's overwhelming. That team member is probably wondering if they made the right decision to come and work for your practice. Oh, yeah. Or they're probably like, you know what, is this worth it? Will I show up for day 2? Right? 22% of employee turnover happens within the first 45 days.
Wow.
So I know you don't want to find yourself in the exact same position again. So, unfortunately, time is not of the essence on your side, but it's still important to make sure that you block out that time, create your strategies, your methods, your systems, and then, the rest of your team need to pull together as well to be able to help make that practice successful in the meantime, but not add so much pressure on them where they start to question and go, you know what, is the grass greener on the other side? Is it worth putting up with this stuff and the additional stress and heartache for this practice? So it's really getting the buy-in from your existing team as well to make sure that they feel like they're stakeholders. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure your patients are taken care of and the business is taken care of.
So I love that advice. And really, if you think about it, if you're at that point where your house is on fire, you're not going to go in there and redecorate the house while it's on fire. You're going to put the fire out. You're going to get some water.
I'm going to use that.
You're going to put the fire out. Okay. And what that means is, you know what? You might have to just buckle up and train that one employee that's left in your house, right? And go from there. But the most ideal thing to do, right, is what we just mentioned earlier. If everything is good in your practice, this is the time to put those training systems in play. Job descriptions, training systems, training videos, all those things. And with that being said, Trish Jorgensen just said, you know what? Have a training video library like on an iPad. That's extremely effective and efficient. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Trish, because we're going to talk about where do you put the training videos. Not only am I a big fan of Samantha and StreamHQ, I'm actually a client. So one of the coolest things that happened in Jamaica, at least for me, was so Samantha and I, we spoke at the Delivering Well Summit, and one of my team members, our front desk associate, Samantha was the one that recruited her for me. And she came up and she was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey, that's the person you talk to in the flesh and everything. And so she's been with my practice for over a year, and she's still there. She's awesome. And here's the thing. Samantha gave me a list of candidates, and she didn't have any real dental experience, and she was young. She was actually the youngest one. And I was like, man, I don't know about this girl. But Samantha was like, you know what? I have a good feeling about her. And, you know, so I was able to kind of use her years of experience in the HR world. And normally I probably wouldn't have hired this person. I probably would have hired someone else a little bit older with more experience. I'm so glad that I listened to Samantha. She is still there and everything is really fresh for her. I mean, she's now wanting to learn how to do the back. She's you know, cross-trained. So it's awesome. So anyways, that's a shout out to you, Samantha. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but you know, here's the thing. I mean, we're dentists, okay? And we have to do all these things. And I just wanted a shortcut. And the shortcut was I had Stream Dental actually recruit my team member, do all the background checks, do all the interviews. I mean, they took care of everything. And by the time I saw Clarissa, who's our team member, the one we're talking about, I mean, I already knew everything about her. I just needed to make sure that, you know, she was like a real live person that could walk around and whatnot. You know, she came in. So anyways, that's a shout out to you. And let's talk about having training video library to put all that stuff. You know, that's been a big, I'm a big fan of using Loom. I'm a big fan of shooting videos. But you know what the big problem I had was that I put it on Google Drive and it's like all over the place. It's like it was like all disorganized. And Samantha, you noticed that too. So what have you guys developed that will make things a lot easier for guys like me that need a little bit more organization?
Well, that's the thing, right, Glenn? It's you know, you're so busy being a dentist, running a business, managing your team, taking care of patients. So sometimes we have our employee handbooks, you know, on one computer that's password protected that your manager has that you don't have access to, or you have an employee file that, you know, your manager has a lock to that you can't get in to find something that you need. So everything's scattered all over the place. But when we need it now. So we wanted to create a way to be able to organize and take care of the HR administration and make it easy again. So you as a dentist can go back to being a dentist and stop being an HR manager. So we developed an HR software. So StreamHQ is essentially your shortcut that can save you over 40 hours, countless headaches, and $20,000 of unproductive time with every new hire. It streamlines and automates your hiring, your training, and your team management. And you have been an amazing user and has given us so much feedback to really craft it and make it so user-friendly, so easy to use, and really just has everything right up at your fingertips.
Samantha, you know, you already know this, but I'm going to go ahead and admit it to everyone. For everyone who's watching right now, before I started using StreamHQ, I had a filing cabinet that was like busting out, like it was about to like bust out. Yeah. Like literally I had all my employee files, all their paperwork, all the like, you know, I don't know if I had to write them up, everything. It was all stuffed in there. And literally the filing cabinet, if I didn't sign up for StreamHQ, I would have to either get a new filing cabinet or that thing would have broke apart. But what was so annoying is that let's say if there's an issue, like, I don't know, maybe I had to write someone up or maybe they had like an exposure or something. I had to go through that filing cabinet, just push through everything and get all the paperwork, you know? And now with StreamHQ, everything's all loaded up there. Yeah, it's awesome.
Exactly. So it basically replaces, it's like your digital filing cabinet. So it's your employee files. You can manage all of your time off through that as well. You can also store all of your HR library, so your infection control, your OSHA manuals, your employee handbooks, your job descriptions, everything's all stored on there. And it's so easy for you to assign that document to an existing team, to all of your team, to your new team member, and they can go in and virtually sign off on it, and it automatically gets saved into your employee file. So it takes care of the administrative work. And speaking of videos, it's also a learning management system. So basically, dentists can create their own e-learning course. So your new team members can watch these videos, can go through the modules, download checklists. You can even embed quizzes on there. So your new team member can basically self-onboard, get all of the information, understand the lay of the land, your workflow, how you want things done. And then that saves so much of your manager's time, you know, the team lead's time. Now that new hire can basically go into more of that coaching mode, right? They're in there, they're working with you, but now you're coaching them because they understand things. So it just really saves so much time. And as soon as they're done going through those trainings, it gets documented into their employee file. So it keeps you
I love that.
and protected, and it just keeps you so organized.
I love that. And speaking of loving what your software is all about, I have someone from the audience that says Samantha is brilliant and her software is amazing. Well, hello. I already knew that, but for those who are watching right now, I totally agree with that. And that's what's really important, right? Because most offices, people have like a big manual, right? Maybe the back office manual, the front office manual.
Right.
And that manual gets bigger and bigger all the time. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna ask you this question here. So let's say that a team member, they really want to get onboarded fast. Okay, let's say that you're that one office that lost like half their team, and you need this assistant to know everything like tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they can't bring everything home with them.
Yeah.
But if all that stuff is on StreamHQ, they can watch it and they can read it at the comfort of their own home, right?
Exactly. And like you said, it's our day and age has changed, right? Nobody reads a bunch of papers. Nobody reads that anymore and retains that information. We are in the YouTube generation. If we want to learn how to put a table together, we go to YouTube and we watch a 3-minute video on how to do it. We don't read, 10 pages on how to create something. That we retain information much better. We're visual generation. So why not put everything in a video format? And using Loom is a great product. You just press the button and then it starts automatically filming your screen, turns your video on your webcam, and now you can walk through how to be able to check out a patient, how to process their insurance. Everything's done, and then you can upload it to StreamHQ, and then now they can start watching it and going at their own pace and being able to understand how you do that, right? Because the one downfall is sometimes we end up hiring somebody and go, okay, well, they have 3 years administration. They know how to do X, Y, Z. Yes, they know how to do it, but they know how to do it the way that their previous employer taught them how they wanted them how to do it, right? So you want them to you want them to have consistency, have good habits. So let's document that and upload it all so that you can just reuse it over and over and over again. It saves you so much time.
I love it. Okay, guys. So Samantha just talked about StreamHQ, super awesome software, super awesome platform. We'll talk more about that, but we're going to switch gears real quick. Okay. And then also I've mentioned that Samantha's team helped find my newest, and she's not really like super new because she's been with me for over a year, but compared to my rest of my team, she's new. My newest associate with their recruiting services. So we talk about recruiting, and then of course she has a whole awesome library of HR forms, right? And you guys do manuals, but there's something that's also really special that people already know that Samantha's a part of. And I want to talk about the Platinum Mastermind. Okay, so I'm part of the Platinum Mastermind along with a bunch of other really awesome coaches. Obviously, Nissa Holmes is the brain behind this all. She's in there with marketing. We have Sandy Pardue's in there, Greg May's in there. Just a bunch of rock stars are in there. Yeah. So, Samantha, you're in there, and what is the track that you teach in the Platinum Mastermind?
Well, I teach you how to recruit and hire your dream team. So I walk through how to be able to create that roadmap, how to create your interview questions, how to develop your skills assessment, and really how to onboard them effectively. So all of those crucial pieces, I break down into actionable items and how to do things step by step. So you're starting to develop things as you're not in that desperation mode. You're being able to do this now.
And that's the thing too. Like I want to kind of tell you guys, I mean, nowadays there's so many resources like Samantha and the Platinum Mastermind. But when I opened my practice back in the day, I mean, literally I had to go around and just ask people like, hey, what do I do here about hiring people? I had no clue. And when there's a shortcut like this Platinum Mastermind, like StreamHQ, when there's a shortcut there, I mean, why do you want to do it the hard way? Because we all know, Samantha just said it. She is the expert in this space. You make one wrong hire, that's about 20 G's right there out of your pocket. Mm-hmm. Do you have that much money to just throw around? I don't think so. But you know what? How much does, let me ask you this. How much does StreamHQ, how much is it per month normally?
Well, it depends on how many employees you have, but it starts as low as $97 a month.
$97. I mean, that's like what? few coffees here and there in the month, that adds up. Okay. And then, so it's like, if you're starting a practice, if you're doing a startup, first of all, if you're a startup right now, this is important. If your practice is new, right, and you're just kind of skating by and like flying under the radar and just winging it HR style, you don't want to do that. Okay, so $97. Okay, so with StreamHQ, you get this platform, and you can add how many team members for the $97?
So that's perfect one for a startup. So you can add up to 5 employees.
5. Okay. Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I want to put you on the spot here. Is there any like starter like forms or anything you kind of throw in or anything like that?
Yeah, so I will definitely do that for our Nifty Thrifty.
There we go. Group. Speaking of which, all right, you're in the Nifty Thrifty Dentist group, and it is Nifty Deal Alert time. Yes. Okay. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me put this in real quick. Anissa, thank you so much for making me look smart. You do that so many times. I totally forgot. But you know what? If you're a startup and you want to be in the Platinum Mastermind, working with pros such as Samantha Leonard, Nissa Holmes, I'm in there. If you want to work with me as well, Sandy Pardue, Greg May. If you're a startup, you get 50% off.
Yeah, it's an amazing platform. Like learning everything that you need, getting all these shortcuts to be able to have a thriving practice. That's a no-brainer, right?
It's a no-brainer. And you know what's a no-brainer? This Nifty Thrifty Deal Alert. Okay, Samantha, what can you do here? How can you work with us here?
Well, I want to be able to offer all of your Nifty Thrifty dentists 15% off of all of our services. So that includes
everything.
So that includes our HR foundation program, where we create all of their policies, their processes, and help them implement it. But we also can give you 15% off of StreamHQ. So I also want to throw in, especially for those startups, for people who are starting with 0 HR, we want to give you some of the fundamental pieces that you need to be able to find your dream team. So things like interview questions, how to be able to, all of the processes so that you can recruit the right people, and having simple job descriptions as well. So just a great way to be able to start that off, and then to be able to grow that as you grow with your practice and your team.
I love it. I mean, if you are a startup or if you're a new practice and you just been winging it, one of these days it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Okay. Yes. Trust me, it's happened to me, so get all those forms the right way, get the documentation the right way. And you know what? You need a place to store it. All right. Get with the times, man. If you have like an old filing cabinet like I did and it's just busting out of there, get with the time. StreamHQ. What's so cool about StreamHQ is that your team members can jump on wherever they're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. It's mobile friendly. So let's say that you assign your new team members that new employee handbook that you're rolling out. So you can assign it to everybody on your team. They get an instant notification in their email. So now they can log in from their phone, from their tablet, from their desktop. They can read it on their employee portal, and they can just use their finger and they can sign off on it. I was going to
ask you that. Can you get them to like sign it or initial it so that way, I mean, God forbid, you have to give them the boot. They're like, I never knew that. Oh, yes, you did, Missy. Exactly. It's like right here. You signed it.
Yep, and it's time-stamped everything. So it's all saved and taken care of for you.
Okay, so let me just throw this out there. So again, Nifty Deal Alert, guys. 15% off of everything. Wait, hold on. When you say everything, are you talking about the recruiting services too?
So our recruiting services, yes.
Really? Whoa.
And StreamHQ as well.
Okay. So guys, if you didn't listen earlier, I'm a big fan because not only am I a fan, but I'm also a client, my newest team member who met Samantha in Jamaica, right? I mean, she's been with us over a year. She was recruited by Samantha for my practice. I was like, you know what? I don't have time to go through all this. I don't have time to look around. I just told Samantha what I was looking for. And the team member who we picked, she didn't have any dental experience, and she was the youngest one. And she's a rock star.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that 15%. Let me just throw out the scenario, Samantha. Okay, so you have a team member, okay? I'm at home. I'm watching like This Is Us with my wife. I don't want to be bothered. And a team member is like, hey, Dr. Vo. She messages me, Dr. Vo, I need some time off. I'm going on a quick vacation with my family, and it's going to happen in like a few weeks. So I need to request time off. Could I just say, hey, team member, here, click, let me send you this, and you can sign the form digitally, and it'll be in your file?
Well, it's even better. So we actually have a time off request area built into StreamHQ. So the employee can actually go into their employee portal. They can select which days they want off. They can select if they want to use their PTO time or if it's unpaid, and then you'll get a notification instantly saying that, Sally has requested 5 days off, and here's that time. You can approve it, or you can even see, has anyone else booked that same time off, to avoid yourself double booking and having multiple people off on that same time.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if I onboard a new team member and they came in and they saw this software, they would just think that I was like the most progressive high-tech guy ever.
Yes, yes.
They don't have to do the little sticky note that says, from this date to this date, here you go, you give it the sticky note. Okay, so we have Rhonda Holman of the DA Rock Stars, and she says, Samantha Leonard knows her stuff.
Love Rhonda. She's got an awesome podcast as well.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, so, all right, so the platform is ready to go. It is, hold up here. Okay, so it's ready to go. That for startups, you suggest the $97 plan. That's for 5 team members. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then from there, how much does it go up? Is it by certain increments, or how does that work normally?
Yep. So then the next level would be from 6 employees to 15 employees, and then that just jumps up to $147. So we try to keep it as economical as possible for practices, because we know how much time and energy is invested and how many other platforms you guys are using. So we just wanted to be able to make sure that this fits within your budget, but it also, most importantly, saves you time. And that is priceless.
So not only are you going to get 15%, let me pull the Nifty deal alert again, 15% off of StreamHQ. Awesome platform. We've been talking about it. It's a no-brainer. Not only that, you're going to get all the forms, all the things you need on the HR side, 15% off. Not only that, you're going to get 15% off of recruiting as well. Let's say that you need to hire that next rock star team member. Samantha is there. 15%. I mean, the only thing that we can't discount, but Dr. Anissa Holmes just said it. If you're a startup, you get 50% off platinum. And you know what? If you like what Samantha's talking about, she's one of the coaches. She's one of the coaches.
I would love to see you on platinum. It's an amazing, amazing course.
Okay, so for those who want to sign up, Samantha, what's the easiest way? They want to get a hold of you. They want to sign up for StreamHQ. They want to just see what you can do for their practice. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, that's a great question. They could go on to, I'm going to give you a special website that we created just for Nifty, Thrifty dentists.
I love the special websites just for the group.
So it's streamhq.info/Nifty Thrifty.
There you go. So again, the Nifty deal is 15% off all the services, especially StreamHQ, which is an awesome platform. Samantha, thank you so much for jumping on. And thank you so much for being a big supporter of our group. Anything you want to add before we jump off here?
Well, I definitely would like to encourage everyone to take a look at Platinum Mastermind. It's a fabulous program. I can't say it enough. You have access to some of the best minds in dentistry, but also being able to get the shortcut for every single aspect of your business. So I wish I had this when I started my career way back when. That would have saved me so much heartache and headaches and sleepless nights and money, right? Yeah. So definitely take a look at that.
I love it. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for jumping on.